The Shadow in the Rose Garden. A rather small young man sat by the window of a pretty seaside cottage, trying to persuade himself that he was reading the newspaper. It was about 8:30 in the morning. Outside, the glory roses hung in the morning sunshine like little bowls of fire tipped up. The young man looked at the table, then at the clock, then at his own big silver watch. An expression of stiff endurance came on to his face. Then he rose and reflected on the oil paintings that hung on the walls of the room, giving careful but hostile attention to the stag at bay. He tried the lid of the piano and found it locked. He caught sight of his own face in a little mirror, pulled his brown moustache, and an alert interest sprang into his eyes. He was not ill-favoured. He twisted his moustache. His figure was rather small, but alert and vigorous. As he turned from the mirror, a look of self-commiseration mingled with his appreciation of his own physiognomy. In a state of self-suppression, he went through into the garden. His jacket, however, did not look dejected. It was new, and had a smart and self-confident air, sitting upon a confident body. He contemplated the tree of heaven that flourished by the lawn, then sauntered on to the next plant. There was more promise in a crooked apple tree, covered with brown-red fruit. Glancing round, he broke off an apple, and, with his back to the house, took a clean, sharp bite. To his surprise, the fruit was sweet. He took another. Then again he turned to survey the bedroom windows overlooking the garden. He startled, seeing a woman's figure, but it was only his wife. She was gazing across to the sea, apparently ignorant of him. For a moment or two he looked at her, watching her. She was a good-looking woman, who seemed older than he, rather pale but healthy, her face yearning. Her rich auburn hair was heaped in folds on her forehead. She looked apart from him and his world, gazing away to the sea. It irked her husband that she should continue abstracted and in ignorance of him. He pulled poppy fruits and threw them at the window. She started, glanced at him with a wild smile, and looked away again. Then, almost immediately, she left the window. He went indoors to meet her. She had a fine carriage, very proud, and wore a dress of soft white muslin. "I've been waiting long enough," he said. "For me, or for breakfast?" she said lightly. "You know we said 9 o'clock. I should have thought you could have slept after the journey." "You know I'm always up at 5, and I couldn't stop in bed after 6. Might as well be in the pit as in bed on a morning like this." "I shouldn't have thought the pit would occur to you here." She moved about, examining the room, looking at the ornaments under glass covers. He, planted on the hearthrug, watched her rather uneasily and grudgingly indulgent. She shrugged her shoulders at the apartment. "Come," she said, taking his arm. "Let us go into the garden till Mrs. Coates brings the tray." "I hope she'll be quick," he said, pulling his moustache. She gave a short laugh and leaned on his arm as they went. He had lighted a pipe. Mrs. Coates entered the room as they went down the steps. The delightful, erect old lady hastened to the window for a good view of her visitors. Her china-blue eyes were bright as she watched the young couple go down the path, he walking in an easy, confident fashion with his wife on his arm. The landlady began talking to herself in a soft Yorkshire accent. "Just of a height they are. She wouldn't have married a man less than herself in stature, I think, though he's not her equal otherwise." Here her granddaughter came in, setting a tray on the table. The girl went to the old woman's side. "He's been eating the apples, Gran," she said. "Has he, my pet? Well, if he's happy, why not?" Outside, the young well-favoured man listened with impatience to the chink of the teacups. At last, with a sigh of relief, the couple came in to breakfast.